Hi everyone, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. I don't claim to know anything about the market. I just know what I see when I go shopping in the stores. Inflation is much higher than what it was several years ago. And then I saw an article about manufacturing, how people are not buying the goods and the warehouses are overstocked with all the different types of products that they produce. Which got me to thinking about China several years ago, how they kept pumping out, making more and more goods just to keep people employed. Well, that didn't last very long, and yeah, people ended up losing their jobs, and there was mass layoffs that came later. I expect that to happen here in the U.S. For those of you who are not already extended extremely in debt, yeah, you can expect probably some good sales that will come later as these businesses try and get rid of the overstock. Many of you know my daughter works at Walmart, and during the Labor Day holiday, people did not come in as expected and buy goods. Normally for holidays, especially the last holiday for the year, people would be buying up different foods and items to have a backyard barbecue or get together. But every day she came home last week saying how slow it was. Very few people in purchasing items, even food for their barbecue. So you know what's coming next. Yeah, mass layoffs. Supposedly our deficit right now is at $1.6 trillion for fiscal year 2024. Debt held by the public increased from 99% of the gross domestic product, and that was what they're predicting for the end of 24. And they're saying it's going to rise to 116% by the end of 2034. I don't know how they can predict so far ahead. I'm expecting a crash. Yeah, sometime now, and maybe the election or after the election. I'm not an economist, so I don't know. The S&P Global U.S. Manufacturing, PMI, was revised slightly down from 47.9 in August of this year. And what they had expected was a 48% and it continued to drop to the most marketed deterioration in the health of the manufacturing sector so far this year. They're saying that production decreased for the first time in 7 months, as sales continue to fall amid increasing reports of demand weakness. People don't have the money to buy stuff anymore. They're also saying that a renewed reduction in employment has also recorded amid spare capacity in the sector. New orders for products was scaled back in response to the lower purchasing by different customers. They're also saying that the cost of inflation rose to a 16-month high, with the price of products rising even faster. Another article I read said U.S. manufacturing activity drops the most in 8 months. New orders for manufacturing has had the sharpest drop since December of last year. This also caused a drop in raw materials that they need to make the products. There was another article I read about Australia. It said how Australia's economy stayed stuck in the slow lane in the June quarter as stiff borrowing costs and stubborn inflation squeezes consumers, leaving government spending as the main driver of growth. That's the same thing that's going on with employment here in the United States. Most of the new jobs are actually working for the government, and it's not in small businesses or other companies like Walmart or say Macy's or whatever. I keep finding articles about how U.S. consumer confidence rises. Not from what I'm seeing at the stores, at least not here in South Dakota. We don't have the inflation like many of the other states do. Put your comment down below. Are you buying more things since July through August. Have you been purchasing more than you have done so in years past? Do you work in any aspect of the manufacturing industry? Has there been a slowdown in orders and then hours cut? According to the Motley Fool, record high debt. American households carry $17.796 trillion in debt as of the second quarter of 2024. The average debt is $104,215 per household. Mortgage debt comprises of 70% of the total household debt, with an average mortgage debt of $244,498 as of last year. The housing market just keeps going higher and higher. Even the middle class can't afford to buy a new home. You think about that, and then there in California, they're giving all these new illegal immigrants an astronomical amount of money to buy their first home. Who's going to pay for that? Well, we are, with our tax dollars. There's also recent talk, I don't know if it's true or not, maybe you can tell me, that they may not cut the interest rate because of this new data about manufacturing. The percentage of personal loans and auto loans in the hardship are also above the 2020 levels. Credit cards and auto loan delinquencies rates have been on the rise since the second half of 2022 and are now at levels not seen since the recession in 2008. Credit card delinquencies continue to climb, they say. In the second quarter of 2024, 9.1% of credit card balance have become delinquent by 30 days or more in the past year. That is up 8.9% the last quarter from 7.2% a year ago, with a rate of 4.3 that it was only in 2021. The Motley Fool also says that millennials, low-income borrowers, getting all tongue-tied here, and to a lesser extent, Gen Z were most responsible for the spike in serious delinquencies due to expensive auto payments and other loans coming due. For automobile debts, the total is $1.626 trillion. The average loan debt is $24,000, and the average monthly new car payment is $735, whereas for a used car, last year it was $523. But as of now, it's $735 a month for a new car. That is outrageous. Yeah, what are you paying for rent? Medical debt is difficult to track. According to the Urban Institute, 13% of Americans, and that's over 43 million people, have medical debt in collection as of 2022. While statistics are scarce, it seems likely that the rise in healthcare costs, especially during the global pandemic, have pushed these numbers higher in recent years. North Carolina has a medical debt of about 20% of the population, where South Carolina, 22% of the population. Tennessee, 18%, Texas, 19%, West Virginia, 24%, Georgia, 17%, Kansas, 17%, and Wyoming, 17%. The average debt for those is $1,515. I'll give you a link to this. Yeah, and today the stock market's not doing that great. Myself, I think the stock market is manipulated along with the price of gold and the price of silver. Normally, you would think in the real world that as our dollar plunges in value, the price of gold and silver and other commodities would go up, but yeah, it's not doing that. Here you can see today how it's still dropping. Yeah, not good. So what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you got money, yeah, you got some great sales that are going to come. But if you got debt, yeah, you won't be able to buy, will you? Thank you again, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.